Alright, I thought I'd explain how I did the inverted front end swap on my bike because that seems to be the most commonly asked question on my bike. So go ahead and get started on that. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do is choose the front end. I went ahead and went with the 2004 Gixxer 750 front end. They're kind of the most common whenever you're swapping front ends on a CB550 because they're pretty much a direct swap. All you need is the conversion bearings from All Balls Racing, and then you can convert it on there. Other forks, you may have to swap out the stem right there for a conversion stem. I think the Honda CBR front ends, you have to buy a conversion stem and press it in, and you can get on cognitomoto.com, and they have a list of conversion stems that you can use for front end swaps. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do is go to allballsracing.com. Once you get on here, looks like this. You go over to fork conversions and select frame, street, year. My bike's 1978. Make, Honda. Model of a 550K. And you search it. You scroll all the way down to Suzuki's. And then I have a Gixxer 750 front end off an 04. There it is. And then you'll open these in new tabs. Alright, that is one bearing. That should be your top bearing, $25. And there's your bottom bearing, and that's $24. So for a set of bearings, it's about $50. Alright, now I'll go ahead and put a list of parts up that you'll need to do the swap. Also put up a list of prices for each item. The prices aren't exact, but that's about what you'll find if you're just buying the parts off of eBay. So I'll go ahead and put that up. Alright, so I thought I'd go over how I did everything. First, I bought the front end. I looked for a while, and I got it for $200, and it came with the triple tree. I then bought the clamp. I think I got it for like $15, and then all the lock nuts and top nut and dust shield and everything. I got that for like $10. I bought the calipers together. They came with the stock brake lines, and it was like $30 for all of them. And I still have the pads that came in the calipers. I'd recommend just going ahead and swapping them out. It's really cheap to do. I just haven't gotten around to do it yet. And then I didn't really like the look of the gold, so I went ahead and polished the calipers, which takes a while to do, but it looks a lot better. Then I went ahead and got braided brake lines. I got these used for $20, so it was worth it. It makes the brakes feel a lot better. And then I got the whole front wheel. The whole front wheel's off a Hayabusa. I did it because I'm going to go with a spoke front wheel, and it's a lot cheaper to get a custom-made hub for a spoked Hayabusa wheel than it would be to get a conversion hub that's a Gixxer 750 wheel that runs Hayabusa rotors. Because if you're going to run a spoked wheel, you have to have Hayabusa rotors because it pulls the calipers out, and that's why I have caliper spacers in there, because the caliper has to reach further out to be on the rotor. But if you don't run the caliper space further out, then your caliper on the backside right here is going to hit the spokes because it's too close forward, and the spokes will kind of taper out like that. So the closer they are, the closer they get to hitting it. So went ahead and did that. The whole front wheel with the rotors and everything is like $300. The axle is like $10, and to get that to fit, I just shaved the axle down a few millimeters, and now everything lines up perfectly. Then I went ahead and I made my own headlight brackets. I just bent some, like, it's probably 18 gauge steel, and I got a headlight, but if your bike already came with a headlight, you can just use the stock one. Then I went ahead and ran the stock clip-ons because one, they're probably the cheapest you can get, and also to me, OEM clip-ons are going to be plenty strong if that's what they came with from the factory. So I went ahead and did that, and they're already pre-adjusted and they feel fine. After that, I did the master cylinder. When I bought one, and you'll see on eBay they always pop up and they don't have levers or anything on them, and they're really cheap, they're like $40. But I bought it and I had it sitting around for a while, and then I finally went to use it, and it was pretty much worn out. I couldn't really rebuild it, so that was a waste of money. Then I just went ahead and bought a new one, and they're pretty expensive. I think I paid $150 for a new one. But something with brakes, it's almost worth just going ahead and buying new lines, new master cylinder, and then I went ahead and rebuilt my calipers because they also leak. So pretty much just expect anything you're going to buy off eBay is going to need to be rebuilt. So it may be better to buy it off forums or in person or something. But after that, I had to get a new, what do you call it? But the like throttle thing. That was pretty cheap. It was like $20. All the controls and stuff, I just went ahead and put controls off a new Sportbike and rewired my bike for them. But you can use stock controls; they'll slide right on it. And so the controls and stuff, you really don't need to buy that. If your stock ones are fine, just go ahead and run them. But then you'll just need like a little reservoir for the master cylinder. That's really cheap, they're like $5. Then you'll have to run the all balls bearings. Those were like $50, but yeah, I'll tally up everything I did, but I think I did it pretty cheap. If you look around and wait long enough, you can get good deals for everything. So yeah, and then pretty much once you get everything bolts right up. There really isn't anything you have to look out for when doing it. All your stock clutch lines and throttle cables and everything, they'll fit. And the brake lines and everything will fit fine because it keeps the same spacing on it. But we'll show you one thing. Right up here, when you buy the top triples, you usually have a key slot, and I wanted to make this gauge cluster for it, so I went ahead and shaved that down, which is really easy to do. And then normally it has a Gixxer logo or Suzuki logo right there. I think that's why a lot of people buy the Honda forks, is because one, they came off a Honda, and another, they have a Honda logo right there. But I just popped the logo off, and you can find Honda logos off, I don't know, even like little ATV plastics. And you can buy the plastic for like $10 and just take the logo off and put it on there, which I'll probably do. I haven't got around to do it. And then I had bar and mirrors. I have just one on there right now. I did have two, but the other one broke off, so I have to get a new one. But pretty much the only thing you have to figure out on this swap that could be difficult is the headlight brackets. They have cheap ones for like $20, but I made my own because if you look, mine tucks the headlight up in there quite a bit, and a lot of the other ones stick them way far out. So I did that. Also, mounting gauges, you're either gonna have to make a gauge cluster or try to find a universal one and just drill holes in the back of this bracket and bolt it on. But yeah, right here you can see I just used a cheap little switch for my turn signals and stuff, and then I got a better switch for my start and kill switch, because I got that off a Honda CBR. But yeah, I know on your switches it's almost better just to get the switches off, buy them used off a Sportbike, because the wiring and everything is way better than if you buy cheap little Chinese switches. Right, so now I'll go ahead and tally up all the cost. I'll do the cost that cost me, and then I'll just do the cost that I find just looking at parts on eBay. Alright, after tallying everything up, it ends up being $750 to $1,300, just kind of depending how expensive you want to go with it. Maybe wondering if it's worth it. To me, it's totally worth doing. Whenever I first did it, I didn't really like the look of the inverted forks on the old bikes front ends, because I don't know, I kind of like the classic look of the bikes. So that's why I went ahead and took all the anodizing off the forks, and then I went ahead and polished the calipers. And now if someone just glances at it, it doesn't really look like the front end's out of place. Also, I put a wider wheel on the back and stuff, so it kind of balances everything out. But running this front end, the brakes are way better, the suspension's way better. You can adjust the dampening and the hardness and everything of the front end just by using a screwdriver. So this front end is a huge upgrade over the stock one. It doesn't feel squishy, and I noticed when I first hopped on, everything felt really soft, because these bikes have quite a bit of weight on the front end. So I was able to adjust the hardness and make sure that it wasn't too squishy. So just being able to adjust everything makes it worth it. And then on top of that, you have brakes, which 4-pot calipers on each side. I don't know, it's probably about 4 times the braking, or I guess it's about 8 times the braking of what the stock brakes were. These felt way better, and probably do a stoppie on it if you wanted to. But yeah, it's totally worth it to me. Also, there's more wheel availability out there running this. So yeah, if anybody's want to do this swap, I would recommend it. Alright, if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have any ideas of videos you want to see over this, go ahead and leave it in the comments. And if you want to keep watching videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.